When the Sixers came into Little Caesars Arena last night, they probably thought they'd break a sweat, make some shots, and come out with a win and some pizza. But little did they know the Pistons, led by Blake Griffin, were intent on hitting the accelerator and driving right over them. It didn't start out fantastic for Blake as he missed his first 2 free throws, but he makes up for it when the Sixers fight each other for the ball and it ends up in Blake's hands for the bunny shot. Midway through the first, a simple duck in down low gets him a catch in great position on the block. While he gets away with a little hop to start the move, nice use of the spin back to the baseline to sneak under Saric's arm for a nice inside hand finish. With Amir Johnson on him, Blake fakes the handoff and just goes to work, getting into the middle strong before spinning back off one leg for the hook shot. Most players would bring that right foot down in front of them and power up off both feet, but Blake has always been, shall we say, unorthodox in his post moves. Here's another fake handoff, and when Saric again tries to lean too much with his forearm in the back, it's a quick spin move to the baseline as he beats Embiid's attempt to block it. They go back at Saric down low, and it's just a straight power move as Blake dislodges Saric with his left leg, then softly shoots the shot in, plus the and one. Midway through the second, Blake brings it up to initiate quickly, getting the step-up screen. Embiid switches out onto him, but when Blake is going this fast, he's almost impossible to stop. Check how he lifts both feet in the air in order to spin back to the hoop, catching Embiid ill-prepared to get a hand up and contest. The whole league has been pushing the pace at breakneck speeds, and Blake uses my favorite play, the fake handoff, kinda, to spin back middle and take off with 1 foot. When the Sixers try to strip the ball, he just overcomes them with his strength, and this move was a foreshadowing of what was to come. Blake was 5 for 10 from behind the arc, and he should be able to get wide open shots from the trail position all throughout this season. A minute later, he comes down the right side on the dribble, surveys the scene, and discovers he's not even being guarded. While he doesn't take off on incredible forays to the rim for dunks that often anymore, every once in a while, he reminds us what kind of power he has. And it was especially helpful that Embiid kept backing up and playing the worst kind of defense imaginable, the kind that gets you dunked on. We've seen this same step-up screen earlier and the Sixers don't switch it, but Muscala simply doesn't have the strength to keep him from getting literally under the hoop for the easy jump hook. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say, and they run the same play again, better defended this time as Muscala is able to provide more resistance. They even bring Embiid over to double team, but Griffin splits them, goes off the right foot and shoots back across his body with the right hand. Somehow, he twists in the air enough to get proper alignment and then gets the kindest of rolls. After the ball is pushed up in transition, Blake finds himself with a mismatch of Covington guarding him. He wants to isolate, but instead, Reggie Jackson cuts for the handoff, and Griffin throws a little hesitation in there to sell the pass, then gets baseline faster than Embiid can challenge. On the break, Griffin finds Amir Johnson in front of him, so he goes right at him and executes a smooth euro and a nice ball fake to finish with the right hand. Blake gets to play point forward for a lot of the game, and he felt like he could overpower Amir anytime he wanted to. So on the keeper, he methodically backs down, waiting for the double that never came until he was so close he was almost underneath the basket. On this nice two-man game from the original Horns setup, Stanley Johnson and Blake Griffin toy around with the defense until Blake's pop finds him a few feet. Notice how he uses the jab step then dribble to find his rhythm. And the fact that he's releasing this while he's hitting the apex of his jump is a big adjustment to his old form where he'd hang in the air longer before releasing. This improvement indicates he'll continue to shoot well from behind the arc, unlike past years. With all the amazing highlights we've seen from the first week alone, it's enough to make you get out of your seat and get down to an arena and see a game in person. And there's no better way to get tickets to a game than by using the SeatGeek app. It scours the internet for the best prices, grades them for you so you know if you're getting a good deal, and it can even show you the vantage point from the seats. Best of all, you can save $20 off your first purchase if you use my code BBall. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss LeBron in the West and the dynamic duo of CJ and Dame wowing you every game they play while also saving money and getting great deals with SeatGeek. Down the stretch, Blake carried the Pistons on his back. Down 1 with 3 minutes to go, the offense gets a little stagnant, so he isolates to attack Saric again. On the middle drive, he does his regular spin back to the baseline, only this time, Embiid surprised him with the quick double. But his one-footed pivot to jump caught Embiid out of position, and he earned a trip to the free throw line. Next time down, the Pistons wanted to force a switch to get Saric back on him. Embiid seemed overly concerned with either a potential screen to his right or getting instructions from the bench, and ends up a step too low. It looks to me like they did not want to switch this as Saric drops down to stay with Drummond. While contesting a three-pointer like this versus an average shooter isn't bad, this year, Blake Griffin is shooting a ridiculous 61% from behind the line on 6 attempts per game. On this step up, the Pistons were again intent on forcing a switch to attack Saric, but Embiid does a nice job to fight through. It's hard to believe Griffin could back down Embiid so easily, and once he gets his left foot inside the restricted area, it's over. Embiid even whacks him across the face. The refs don't call it, but no matter, a soft bank shot gets them a tie. We went to overtime, and Blake went at it again in an ISO out top versus Saric. This is good defense on an average shooter, which Blake has been his whole career, but not tonight, nor this season, and Griffin breaks the tie with a huge triple. And that brings us to the final offensive possession of the game for the Pistons. With Embiid guarding him, they curl 2 cutters around Blake, which serves to pull defenders out of his area and get him a catch. Here's where it gets screwy on the Sixers' part. Amir Johnson immediately runs at Blake. Perhaps he realizes his mistake leaving the inbounder wide open, so he jumps backwards in an attempt to get back into position. But Casey already had his play going, a fake handoff into a drive. This play may look similar because Casey ran it a whole lot in Toronto, yet the Sixers were not prepared. The Sixers want to switch this, but Amir was so completely out of position to start that Blake just gets a free run to the rim. No big man to protect the rim leaves Covington to rotate. Interestingly, it's Blake who gets his off arm out away from his body to initiate the contact. We've seen this called as offensive often, but not in this situation. The Pistons' best player driving to the hole hard for the win. An impressive finish after contorting his body at this angle in the air, and he gets the and one. Having missed his first 6 free throws of the game, this pressure shot wasn't guaranteed, but he drops it down like a boss. The Sixers initially ran a great play to screen for Embiid with Redick, whose man will not leave him alone. Embiid should have cut to the hoop to receive the pass. Instead, he gets a completely contested 3. It doesn't fall, and the Pistons are 3-0. Not to be overlooked was J.J. Redick's scintillating 30 points and another 3-pointer by Markelle Fultz. Whether this Pistons team is for real has yet to be determined, but Blake Griffin is out to prove that they belong in the conversation for Eastern Conference contender. Sports fans, make sure to hit the subscribe button and adjust your settings so you can get notified immediately when we drop another great NBA video. Let us know how you feel with a thumbs up and a comment. After all, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?